Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Food delivery driver in critical condition after violent early morning carjacking in Mississauga. A sharp rebalancing of demand-supply conditions, RBC says GTA housing market lost steam in June. Pierre Poilievre does not agree with straight pride message in photo at Stampede. Brampton empowers residents with new neighborhood association guide and grant opportunities. 6-year-old girl dies after being struck by vehicle in Junction neighborhood last week. Report sheds light on how Brantford police ended up raiding wrong address and traumatizing family.
Those were the headlines, and now let's jump right into the details.
A 6-year-old girl was struck by a vehicle in Toronto's Junction neighborhood last week has died, police say. Toronto police previously said the child and her mother were walking along the north sidewalk on Dundas Street West, approaching High Park Avenue just before 4:30 p.m. on July 5th when the girl suddenly ran into the roadway and was hit by a westbound white Honda CRV. The child suffered life-threatening injuries and was rushed to Sick Kids Hospital in critical condition. The driver remained at the scene following the incident, police say. On Monday, Toronto police say they were informed that the child had succumbed to her injuries. The service said it continues to investigate the tragic event, but the investigators do not expect charges will be laid. Police are asking anyone with information to call 416-808-1900. In Brampton, residents now have the opportunity to strengthen their communities through the newly approved Neighbourhood Association Guide. During the June 21st Committee of Council meeting, a grant stream of up to $1,500 was announced for eligible groups and projects. This guide offers valuable information on establishing neighbourhood associations, fostering a sense of community, and encouraging collaborative efforts to enhance Brampton's diverse neighbourhoods. Councillor Rowena Santos, a strong advocate for neighbourhood associations since 2020, emphasized the importance of social cohesion, especially during the pandemic. These associations consist of residents who voluntarily work together to improve their neighbourhoods, creating connections and identifying community strengths and weaknesses. By empowering local neighbourhoods, Brampton aims to enhance safety, quality of life, and foster a sense of belonging. In addition to the Neighbourhood Association Guide, a Nurtured Neighbourhood Grant will be available, providing up to $1,500 in financial support for neighbourhood associations. This grant will assist in beautifying surroundings and implementing local safety measures. Projects eligible for funding include organizing cleanup initiatives, beautifying neighbourhood entrance flower beds, revitalizing trails, and hosting community buildings, events like street parties and barbecues. If you are interested in establishing your own neighbourhood association, the draft Neighbourhood Association Guide is available for review. The City of Brampton will be hosting workshops for those interested in creating their own associations. To participate in the first workshop and be the part of this transformative community initiative, contact cswo@brampton.ca or visit the Community Safety and Wellbeing page on the city's website. The approval of the City of Brampton Neighbourhood Association Guide is a significant milestone empowering residents to take ownership of their communities. This initiative equips Bramptonians with the tools and resources needed to create positive change within their neighbourhoods. Councillor Rowena Santos expressed her enthusiasm, saying, "We are stronger as a city when our local neighbourhoods are empowered. I am proud of the work we have done to get to this point and cannot wait to see neighbourhood associations forming across the city, implementing their creative ideas to improve their local community." A spokesman for Pierre Poilievre said Monday the federal conservative leader does not agree with the message of straight pride after he was photographed with a man wearing a t-shirt bearing those words. Sebastian Kamsky said Poilievre had been posing with hundreds of people at the Calgary Stampede on Saturday when he was photographed with an individual without reading that was written on his shirt. The bright green t-shirt featured the symbols for men and women that are often posted to doors of public restrooms. It said, "Thank a straight person today for your existence," in black capital letters with straight pride written at the bottom. Skamsky said that Puiliev does not agree with the message displayed on the t-shirt, adding that conservatives are working to build a country where everyone is free to be themselves, regardless of their sexual orientation. Puiliev said in June that he saw Pride Month as celebrating freedom from bigotry and the right to be viewed as an individual instead of being lumped together in a group identity. Puiliev and other political leaders, including Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, kept up the tradition of joining pancake breakfasts and other public events at Stampede over the weekend. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith did too, and her office provided a similar response when a photo of the Premier with the same individual began circulating online. Sam Blanket, a press secretary for Smith, said in a statement that the Premier also did not read the person's shirt and obviously doesn't agree with its message. Blackett added Smith has always been clear that she supports those in the LGBTQ community. Lisa Tejada, the Alberta NDP's critic for LGBTQ issues, said in a statement that the Premier has a history of amplifying messages of hate and intolerance and accused her of refusing to take responsibility for her past tacit approval of such messages. Even before becoming federal Conservative leader last fall, Puiliev began appearing before crowds of hundreds, sometimes thousands of Conservative faithful and supporters of his leadership bid. After such appearances, he frequently takes time to pose for photos with those in attendance. Mayor-elect Olivia Chow says she can't imagine the grief and shock being felt by some members of the community following a spate of violent incidents in Toronto, including one that recently left a mother of two dead, and that stopping the violence will be one of her top priorities as mayor. Hubner McCurad, 44, died after being struck by a stray bullet while walking near Queen Street East and Carlaw Avenue during the noon hour on July 7th. Police are still looking for the three male suspects in connection with the deadly incident. The fatal shooting occurred just a day after a man was stabbed following an altercation on a crowded subway train approaching Eglinton Station. One suspect has since been arrested in connection with that incident. Then just today, two people were seriously injured in an early morning shooting downtown, which police say may have started as a road rage incident. According to data from Toronto Police, major crime indicators are up to 20% this year compared to the same period in 2022. That includes a 17% increase in assaults. While homicides are down 11%, more recent data on shootings and gun incidents are not yet available. Speaking following a transitional meeting later in the day to discuss supportive housing and wrap around services, Chow said she had spoken with Toronto Police about the Leslieville shooting and called it a horrible tragedy. She said she supports the violence reduction strategies the city already has underway and said a public health approach is needed to further tackle the roots of gun violence. There was a sharp rebalancing of demand-supply conditions in Toronto's real estate market last month as the Bank of Canada's recent decision to resume its rate hiking cycle pushed some buyers to the sidelines, a new report from RBC suggests. The report released last week notes that the home sales fell 6.9% in Toronto in June after soaring by 32% in April and May when the Bank of Canada was keeping its key overnight lending rate on hold. The central bank, it should be noted, increased the overnight rate by 25 basis points last month and is widely expected to raise rates again on Wednesday. The bank's key lending rate is already at its highest point since 2001 at 4.75%. RBC said in the report that it believes the surge in Toronto home values, which pushed benchmark prices up 8.9% since the market reached a cyclical bottom in February, can't continue. It notes that the number of homes available for sale rose in every major market last month, including Toronto. The bank does concede that the growing supply hasn't done much to ease upward price pressure so far, but it says that should the trend of fewer buyers and more sellers continue, price growth should moderate. A food delivery driver is fighting for his life in hospital after violent carjacking in Mississauga early Sunday morning. Peel police say that just after 2 a.m., a mail delivery driver was working in the area of Britannia and Craigview Roads. Upon arrival, a delivery address, the driver was allegedly confronted by a number of individuals who attempted to steal his vehicle. The unknown suspects fled the scene in the victim's vehicle, leaving the victim at the side of the road with life-threatening injuries, they said in a July 10 news release. The victim was transported to a trauma center where he remains in critical condition. It's unclear how many suspects were involved, and police have not released any suspect descriptions. Investigators are asking anyone who may have been in the area or anyone who captured dashcam footage at the time of the incident to contact police or Crime Stoppers anonymously. The negligent actions of 2 Brantford police surgeons crossed the line from a performance issue to misconduct when the drug investigation they were overseeing led to armed tactical officers mistakenly raiding the wrong home, traumatizing a young family in the process, according to a report by the Office of the Independent Police Review Director. The July 5th report, which was reviewed by CP24.com, outlined the events that transpired on September 8, 2022 in the hours before and after a botched raid was carried out at an apartment on Wellington Street in Brantford, but does not make any formal recommendation on whether the officers should be face disciplinary action. The report indicated that a family of 4, including a 7-year-old boy and 13-year-old girl, were inside their apartment unit when members of the Police Services Tactical Intelligence Generated Enforcement and Response Unit broke down their front door. The officers reportedly came in with their firearms drawn and threw a flashbang device into the apartment, yelling "Search warrant" and "Get down." The officers handcuffed the 2 adults in the apartment and forced the children out onto the balcony. Despite repeatedly telling officers that they were law-abiding citizens who had done nothing wrong, the complainant said the officers did not confirm the address or ask for the name of the occupants inside the apartment, according to the OIPRD, the office in charge of investigating public complaints against the police. The complainant also alleged that the officers used excessive force and hurled profanities at her family during the ordeal, claims that could not be substantiated in the report. The complainant said after several minutes she overheard one of the officers saying, "You have got to be kidding me. Seriously, we got the wrong address?" At that point, she said, the officers discovered that the warrant was supposed to be executed at an adjacent building with the same unit number. She said they took the handcuffs off and suddenly became polite.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.